Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. We're going to be coming to lying down and we're going to be focusing on our core. So there's deep tummy muscles underneath your six pack, your TVA, your transverse abdominis, your obliques, internal and external, these waist muscles, and that powerhouse, your glutes. So come and join me lying on your back. Knees are bent, feet flat on the floor. Check in that pelvis is in neutral, hip bones level with that tailbone. So the sacrum, where your vertebrae are fused, are in contact with the floor. So you've got that natural curve in your lower back. Then just bring your arms just a little bit away from the side of your body, just so that you can allow the chest to open, backs of the shoulders, shoulder blades to come in contact with the floor. Palms are facing the ceiling. Soften the fingers. And then bring your awareness to your neck, checking that neck's in line with the rest of the spine and that there's length in the neck. Check that you're not jutting the chin up or overly tucking the chin, and on the back of the head, not the crown of the head. Eyes can be open or eyes can be closed. And then just bring your awareness to the breath. You can breathe in through the nose and gently out through the mouth, or you can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And just keep the awareness on that breath, keeping that pelvis in neutral, keeping the weight even for both feet. And then whilst we're down at the feet, spread those toes wide, keep that big toe mound in contact with the floor. And then start to direct the breath to the sides and the back of the rib cage. Breathing wide and full. Your lateral thoracic breathing. Breathing wide and full. You can place your hands on the rib cage and feel it expand out to the sides and out to the back. Keeping that chest open. Keeping the backs of the shoulders in contact with the floor. Keeping that pelvis in neutral. Keeping the feet active. And at the bottom of your next exhale, gently hug in, drawing the lower ribs in. You may think of a gentle bracing, or if you go to Pilates classes, you may think about scooping up and in, you may think about zipping up, you may think about tightening a belt. And it's just a gentle tension. You're not tight, you're not gripping really tight, it's just that gentle activation, that gentle hugging. Checking that you're not flaring out those lower ribs, those floating ribs. Breathing wide and full. Let's add some movement, coming into a leg float. Now the movement is coming from the hip joint. So let's start with that right foot. Now you can bring the hands to the hip joints if you want to make sure you're moving from the hip joint. Right foot floats down, and then left. Don't worry if you're floating up on an inhale or exhale, as long as it's one breath per movement. There's no movement at the knee or at the ankle. Keeping that gentle hug in, trying to breathe to the sides and the back of the rib cage. So we're starting to mobilise the hip joint, starting to wake up those deep tummy muscles. They're trying to stabilise that pelvis and keep it in neutral whilst you're adding the movement of your leg. So you can use your hands to check in that you're breathing wide and full. You can use your hands to check that you're moving at the hip joint. Check in that you're not flaring out those lower ribs. Let's do one more right. And then left. Slowly come down. Release the tension. Take a nice deep breath in. Big sigh out. Re-checking that pelvis in neutral. At the bottom of your next exhale, that gentle hugging. Core is activated. Coming into a low bridge. So let's check that we're spreading the toes wide, big toe mounds in contact with the floor, knees going in the direction of your toes, Keep the palms facing up towards the ceiling so there's no tension in the arms, shoulders or neck. In. And take a nice deep breath out. Keep that gentle hug in. Lift the hips up. Low bridge. From here, checking in with the feet, the knees. Check that the glutes are firing up. So we're waking up those glutes. Keep that gentle hug in. Keep that pelvis in neutral. So we're not arching in that lower back. We've got that natural curve in our lower back. Holding it here. Spread the toes wide. And on your next exhale, float the hips back down towards the floor. Come back to neutral. Holding here. And release. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, activate that core, that gentle hug in. And then as you inhale, float the hips off the floor, low bridge. Pause in here, check your base. Big toe man in contact with the floor. Coming into our glute hip raises. So as you exhale, slowly lower the hips to the floor. And then squeeze back up as you inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale, squeeze back up. Exhale, lower. Hips kiss the floor, squeeze it back up. And lower. And up. Let's carry on in your own time, coming up for 6. Really use those glutes. For 7, keep that gentle hug in. Squeezing up for 8, keep the feet in contact with the floor. For 9, for 10, for 11, and for 12. Hold it here. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, roll down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Upper back, mid back, lower back, pelvic tilt. Slowly come back to neutral and release. And then from here, coming into our ab curls, lift the head slightly, interlace the hands behind the head. Allow the backs of the hands to come in contact with the mat, and allow the head to relax into the hands. And then point the elbows up towards the ceiling. Check that that pelvis is in neutral. Gentle hug into the midline, check that you're not tilting that pelvis. Keep the feet in contact with the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, curling the upper body off the floor. Check that you're not pulling on the head and neck. Maybe curling the shoulder blades off the floor if you're strong enough. And as you inhale, slowly curl back down. Exhale, curl up. Check that you're not doming the belly, pushing that belly out, draw that belly button down, keep that gentle hug in. Inhale, slowly come down. Exhale, curl up. Check that put on the head and neck. And inhale, curl down. Exhale, curling up. Inhale, curl down. You can rest here, or you can carry on, or you can join me with an adding on. So exhale, curl up. Right leg float. Remember the movement from the hip joint. Float that right foot down, and then slowly curl down on your inhale. Exhale, curl up. Left leg float. Left foot down. Inhale, curl down. So just allowing the head to rest heavy on the hands. Exhale, curl up. Check that you're not tilting that pelvis. Right leg float. Slowly float that right foot down. Curl back down. Inhale, curl. Inhale, exhale, curl up. And left leg float. Float that foot down. Inhale, curl down. Exhale, curl up. Right leg float. Right foot down. Inhale, curl down. Exhale, curl up. Left leg float. Left foot down. Curl down. Remember, you can rest anytime you want or take the leg floats out. Exhale, curl up. Right leg float. Left leg float. Curl down on an inhale. Exhale, curl up. Float that right foot down. Left foot down. And inhale, curl down. Exhale, curl up. Float the left foot off the floor. Right foot off the floor. Inhale, curl down. Exhale, curl up. Float the left foot down, the right foot down, slowly curl down. Exhale, curl straight up, and then inhale, down. Exhale, curling straight up, and slowly down. One more. Exhale, curl up. And slowly curl down. Well done. And then just gently release the elbows out to the side. Release the core. Take a nice deep breath in. Easy exhale out. And then keeping the hands where they are, just bring that left elbow up. Slowly roll onto your right side, releasing that left hand down. So just using that right lower arm as a pillow. Bend the knees. Lengthen out the spine, check that the head and neck's nice and long. Now you can stay here, and when we come into our leg raises, you can stay in a clam, or you can lengthen out the top legs, your left leg, flex the foot. Check that that spine's nice and long, gentle hug into the midline. Left fingertips or hand can stay on the floor, or you can keep them on that left hip. And then from here, slowly lower the leg down, slowly come up. So try not to come up too high, because you want to keep that pelvis in neutral, keep that gentle hug in. So we're just abducting the leg away. You can bring the hand here, you can feel that outer glute working. And then you've got the option to keep the foot flexed but point the toe down towards the floor, so the big toe taps the floor, and then you come up, tap and up, tap and up. Keep that gentle hug in. Or you can just stay in your clam. I've lost count completely. So let's say this is 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend that knee, just pause in here. Now slowly lengthen out both legs, coming into a torpedo variation. So you're going to balance here on your hips. Imagine that you're lying in between two sheets of glass. So you don't want to roll forward or you don't want to roll back. Spine is long, gentle hugging. Pause in here. Find a focal point, gentle hug in. Float the feet off the floor. Now if it feels too much to have both legs off the floor, keep that right leg in contact with the floor. Flex the feet, point the toes. Flex and point. Flex and point. Still breathing wide and full. Flex and point. Flex and point. That gentle hug in. Flex and point. Flex and point. Flex and point. And then just bring the feet back, flex the feet, or the feet can just be in neutral. You can stay here, or you can rest, or you can join me in lowering the legs down and squeezing back up. Lower and up for 2, for 3, for 4. Remember, you can rest any time. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Slowly lower down. And then slowly, with control, roll on to your belly. Bring the feet about hip width apart. Lengthen out the spine. Gentle hug in. Bring the arms to goddess arms, goalpost arms. And then lift the head off the floor. You want to pee between your nose and the floor. Now, if it ever feels too much, you can lower the head to the floor. Come into back extensions. Now you can keep the lower arms in contact with the floor. And just relax the hands and just lift the chest off the floor and back. It's not a back extension, we're keeping the length in the spine, it's a small movement. So it's not a back extension, we're not coming into a back bend. And then you've got the option of floating the lower arms off the floor and lowering back down. Or you can extend the arms down by the side of your body. You may be able to see the movement a little bit more now. My arms down by my side of my body. Palms can face in. The palms can face up. Keeping that gentle activation of the core. Just lowering up and down. Not too high. Now depending on the size of your pecs or your breast, you might not be able to lift up very high. But keeping the length in the spine. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Lower down and then use your hands as a pillow and rest your head on your hands. Gentle activation of the core, gentle activation of the glutes. We're coming into leg raises here using our glutes. So I'll start with my left so you can see. So squeeze, and you're going to lift that left leg off the floor. Think about length, not height. The hip bones are still staying in contact with the floor. Lower the left leg down. Squeeze with the right glute. Raise that right leg off the floor. Think about length, not height. Lowering it back down. Then left, using that glute, that left glute. Float the left foot down. Right. And lower. Then you can now squeeze with those glutes. Bring the hands and then squeeze. Feel them. I'm getting my words muddled up. Hands to the buttocks. And then you can feel those glutes working. Maybe prod those fingers in. Feel them working. And then you're just alternating left and right. Keeping that gentle hug in. Slow and controlled. Both hips, pubic bones staying in contact with the floor. And let's do 3 more each side. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3. Now you're going to roll onto your left side, so we can do our sideline work on the left. I'm just going to swivel around so I'm facing the camera. So once you get onto your left side, check in that your spine is nice and long. Softening that left leg. Option to come into clam. Lengthen out your right leg if not doing clam. Flex the foot. Gentle hug into the midline. And then from here, you're just lowering that leg down and squeezing up. You can just rest the arm long on your side. I like to bring it to my hips so I can feel the muscles working. Sometimes I move it round to my glutes, just so I can feel the muscle working. And it's slow and it's controlled. Now you've got the option now to keep that foot flexed next time it comes up, but point the toe down. So as you lower, that right toe taps, squeezes back up. Tap and up. Tap and up. So keep that gentle hug in. Check in that the neck's in line with the rest of the spine. And breathe. And breathe. Widen forward. I know it's a bit hard breathing into the side of the left rib cage. Let's do 2 more. 1 and 2. Bend that right knee, place it on top of the left. Just pause here. And then slowly lengthen out the legs, coming into our torpedo variation. So the right hand can be on the floor or the fingertips. You can lengthen out the arm here. Or you can, I like to bring it into my waist so I can feel my waist, those obliques working. From here, gentle hug in. Remember, you can do this just one leg. If it feels too much, float the legs off the floor. Holding it here, flex the feet, and then point the toes. Flex and point. Flex and point. Flex and point, flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. Last one, flex and point. And then flex the feet. We're going to lower the feet down, the legs down and squeeze up. Remember, you can just do it one leg at a time. So let's come down for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and then slowly lower down, and then just roll back onto your belly. And once you're there, bring the head down towards the floor, maybe feet can be hip width apart, and then extend the arms. So the fingertips are pointing towards the end of the mat.
And then from here, gentle hugging into the midline. Lift the head off the floor slightly, so the neck stays along the rest of the spine, so maybe a P between the nose and back. If it feels too much for your lower back, you can keep the forehead on the floor. Gentle hug in, float the arms off the floor, checking in with how that back feels, and then slowly bend the elbows, bring the elbows back down towards the body, feel the shoulder blades coming into the midline, in towards the spine. Slowly lengthen out, and then squeeze back down. And then slowly lengthen out. If you go to the gym, it's that lat pull down movement when you're working your back. And squeeze down for 4. Check in with how you're feeling in that lower back. And for 5. For 6, keep that gentle hug in. For 7. And 8. Slowly lower, place the hands underneath the shoulders. Gentle hug in, push up in one piece to the knees, and then slowly come into tabletop. I'm just going to redo my ponytail and grab a drink. Now once you're in your tabletop, please check that your shoulders are over the wrists, shoulder blades are in neutral on the back of the rib cage, and that your pelvis is in neutral. Gentle hug into the midline. Breathing wide and full into the sides and the back of your rib cage. And then from here, gentle hug into the midline, core is on. Checking that you're round in the upper back. And then from here, lengthen out that left leg. So float the left toes off the floor using that left glute. So the glutes are on. Gentle hug into the midline. Float that right arm up. If it feels too much, then bring the toes of the left foot to the floor. Pause in here, and then bring the arm back, just like we did lying down just now. So squeezing back for 2. So feel the shoulder blade, or that right shoulder blade squeezing back into the midline for 3, for 4, for 5, for 6, for 7, and for 8. Lengthen the arm back out, pause in here, Superman. Exhale, tabletop. Take a nice deep breath in, release. Inhale. As you exhale, activate that core. And then slide that right leg back. Use that right glute to float the toes off the floor. And then bring the arm up maybe. If it feels too much, right toes to the floor. And from here, let's squeeze back. Feel that shoulder blade sliding in towards the midline, the spine. And we've got 4. And 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Lengthen back out, and tabletop. Pause in here. If you want to give the wrists a shake, please do so. We've got one more Superman to do each side. So set your base. Left leg, float your toe off the floor. Option to add in that right arm, or it can stay here. It can be here on the fingertips or floating off the floor. Looking down towards the floor, keep that gentle hug in, using that left glute. Bend in that left knee, ankle in line with the knee, leg curl, lengthen out, and bend it in. So this is 2, and 3, and 4. Keep drawing those lower ribs in. For 5, for 6, for 7, and for 8, so it's balance as well, and tabletop. And let's repeat that. Right leg, check your base, float the right toes off the floor, and then you can add in that left arm if you want to. Keep that gentle activation of that right glute, bending that right knee, right ankle, right knee, leg curl, lengthen out, squeeze it in for 2, and 3. I'm keeping my right foot flex, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, remember you can rest, and 8, and tabletop. You can tuck your toes and float the hips back to the heels, or you can join me in a downward facing dog. So in your down dog, pushing up through the arms, Lengthen out the armpits, relax the head and neck, lengthen out that spine, soften the knees. Think more of having a lovely long spine rather than heels to the floor. Just enjoy this nice stretch. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice and easy exhale. Inhale. Easy exhale. Slowly lower the knees to the floor. And then come to an easy cross-legged. Option to grab a block, or maybe you want to grab a throw to sit on. Whichever feels comfortable for you. And then from here, let's just float that left lower arm down to that left thigh, releasing that left ear towards that left shoulder. Just a nice easy opening down the right side of the body, right neck. Just pausing here. Just allowing the breath to slow down. And just relax that left hand, the right hand. And then inhale, slowly float up. Exhale, coming over to the right. Maybe releasing that right ear down. Just checking in with the breath. And just slowly come all the way up. And just bring the fingertips behind you. Just open out that chest. Pause in here. And then if it feels comfortable, you can bring the palms down, keeping that chest open. Maybe float the hips off the floor. Try not to drop the head back. Just be careful of that neck. And then slowly lower the hips. Slowly come onto the fingertips. And then just slowly come all the way up. Take a nice deep breath in. Reach the fingertips all the way up. Have a lovely long stretch here. And exhale, slowly bring the hands down through to heart center. Down to the belly, to the feet. You can keep the hands here on the feet, or maybe bring them to the thighs. Palms down or palms up. And then just close your eyes. And then just soften the face. The forehead, the space between the eyebrows, the cheeks. Relax the jaw so the lips will part slightly. Just allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. Keep the length in the neck, keep the length in the spine. And just soften the throat, the chest, the ribs. And bring your awareness to the breath flowing in, the breath flowing out. Breath in, breath out, in and out. And take a nice deep breath in, wide and full, and an easy exhale. Breathe in wide, easy exhale. Inhale for 2, still breathing wide, and then exhale for 1 and 2 and 3. So we're making our exhale slightly longer. Inhale for 2 and exhale for 3. Inhale wide for 2 and exhale for 3. Keep those shoulders soft, the elbows soft. And exhale for 1, 2, 3 and maybe 4. Let's do one more of those. And exhale for 1, 2, 3 and maybe 4. And just go back to that natural breath. No forcing, no controlling the breath. Smooth and calm. And just bring your awareness to the space between your eyebrows. Just slowly bring the palms together. Bring the hands through to heart centre. Allow the thumbs to connect to the heartbeat. Soften the shoulders. Just allow the elbows to point down. Soften the fingers. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your practice. May you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you find peace within. Just slowly flutter your eyes open. Just take a moment to allow the eyes to adjust to the light. Take a nice deep breath in. Big exhale out through the mouth. From my heart to yours, thank you, thank you, thank you. See you soon, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.